Okay, this is Andy Lee Graham, reporting from Jerusalem, Israel. Jerusalem, Israel. It's December 17th, 2024. And today I'm going to try to explain, and I'm just going to be a reoccurring theme through my time in here. I kind of always refer to this movie called The Kingdom of God, and I have been to Jerusalem before, okay, and nothing really felt holy when I was there before. But I'm older now, say I'm 70 years old, and I've been in 115 countries, and I've been doing this for 26 years. So I have sort of a mission in life to basically report on what's happening in the world. But I will say something funny. My one friend was asking if I had any synchronicity. And it was kind of ironic because a man that stole my eggs, or was trying to steal my eggs, and I was very gruff with, just came up, and for unknown reasons. But I'm looking for to understand what the word holy means. What is a holy experience? Okay, but synchronicity is related to, and there's a bunch of words that are related to this, okay? And that's the hard part to understand, is what does it mean to be holy? But the synchronicity that this friend of mine was from a Patreon was talking about, this guy asked me where the old city was. Somehow he's here and I'm in here, and it's really easy to get to the old city. I'm at the Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, and I think I'm on Joppa Street. But you just follow the train track and it takes you to the new gate. And I did a big long video, 20-minute video on the Holy Church of the Sepulchre. I'm not going to say that right. I have dyslexic problems, so the pronunciation of words is really tough for me. But the Holy Church of the Sepulchre, and they're supposedly in this area they crucified Christ and then they buried him in a tomb. And I did find something that showed that they were, as I understand it, and everything's in Hebrew, right? And I really do recommend that if you really want to have a deep understanding, maybe you ought to get a tour, because this country is set up for tours. It's not set up for backpackers. Okay, but I'm Andy Lee Graham. Okay, so synchronicity, I'll tell you what synchronicity is a concept introduced by Carl Jung describing a meaningful coincidence that occur without causal connection, but seem to be related. It suggests an underlying order or connection between events, thoughts, or emotions often perceived as significant to the individual experiencing them. So this guy that was in Tel Aviv, in my hostel, stealing my eggs, which I was very rough with, because if he would have asked for my eggs, but he just came back maybe inebriated, drunk, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I catch him getting into my eggs. But it was a leap of lies to get to there. So he just came up, and in a way maybe was trying to appease himself by asking me directions to the old town. Very strange, because you would think that he would avoid me completely. He's kind of a Chinese guy. But I'm going to talk now about some feelings of what holiness is, and my definition when I was talking to my other friend. A sense of holy is when when I go in a lot of churches, I feel a sense of holy. When I was in Colombia, in a little town where I stayed at for about 2 months, every time the church would start, I would feel a sense of holiness. And then when you feel a sense of holiness, you feel a great reverence and you feel a lot of respect. So I think when you have a feeling that you should be respectful of a situation, that's a sense of holiness, okay? And there's older people sometimes. Maybe I should point this so you guys can watch the train coming. But a sense of holiness is you're in the right way, you're in the right feelings. Everything is in harmony. Okay, so harmony to me is a sense of holiness. I'm 70 years old. I'm going to round this up. I'm rounding it up, but 70-year-old man that's been in 113 countries, and there are times when you know you're on the right path, and there's times when you know you're on the wrong path. And the true feeling of travel is that you're never feeling comfortable. You never feel comfortable, but sometimes you feel like you're in the right place at the right time. And I'm in the right place. And this is going to be Christmas here. I'm going to spend about 17 days here. This is day 2. And what that means is I will experience things. Oh, by the way, I got on my Indiana University shirt, and I got an American flag on the back, so nobody mistakes me for an Israeli. Like when I bought the Robcon ticket, the guy thought I was Israeli. Okay, but the right way, the right feelings. And when you feel like you should be giving a sense of reverence, to me, that's one sense of holiness. I am watching, being that I'm in the, Bethlehem is like 6 miles from here, and it's the birthplace of Christ. Then he traveled north to the Sea of Galilee, and he went over to Egypt. His family did when he was a kid. And then they went maybe into Lebanon and then a little bit over towards Jordan. But I'm trying to figure out the path of Jesus Christ. But the sense of holiness is right here what is, even though some people would call this Holy Lands, it's a Holy Lands being fought over by the Muslims, the Jewish people, and the Christians at the same time. That's why it's sort of an unholy moment, because the argument is the lack of harmony, and harmony to me is holiness. When you feel like you're stepping on somebody's toes or something, or you're interfering, or they got a grimace on their face, which body language is everything. If you're looking at body language and somebody is basically looking at you with a grimace like "get the hell out of here," that's not a sense of holiness. Okay, I haven't really met any holy people here, even though you have a lot of the ultra-Orthodox Jewish people here, but they're kind of dressed up thing. I mean, I was just watching this Bible video, the life of Christ at 3, and they were talking about the idea that you should, there's 2 things that I always hold on to, is that you shouldn't have any graven images. So in a way, what, in my opinion, we're making the old city of Israel, we're making it kind of a graven image. It's as if there was a significance that I need to go worship at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre or whatever. I need to go see the sites. I don't need to do that. Okay, I want to do that, but I don't need to do that. That is not a way to go to heaven. You don't go to heaven by deeds in the Christian religion. But the right feeling, the right ways is what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for holy people. And generally, happy smiles on their face. There was in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, there was a picture of God waving as he's going to heaven or something. And I think that it was a sense of holiness. Happiness, waving, basically smiling at the world, that to me is a sense of holiness. If you're looking the other way when somebody's walking by, that's the opposite of a thing. In the 3-hour video I'm watching, and there's dozens of these, I created a playlist on my Andy Global Citizen, 100 plus countries, 25 plus years site for Jesus Christ. And I'm putting videos, and I'm attaching ones that I'm watching that reference Jesus Christ. But one of the big deals in that movie was a sense of holiness, is that we're a servant. So if you're a servant of God and your goal is to make the world a better place, that to me is on the right path to holiness. On the other side is that if you dress up in certain clothing, and in this thing he was talking about, don't be ostentatious in public. Do not wear your religion on your sleeve. Do not make other people feel feel nervous by your presence. And that's one reason why sometimes the Catholic and the Jewish people and everybody that dresses up in religious clothing, some of the Islamic people, the Muslims on Friday afternoon or whatever, this ostentatious thing is to me not holy, okay? Because you're trying to make yourself more special, like a graven image, than other people. And that is not harmony with other people, right? It's the opposite of harmony. But to be a servant, we have to be less than and helpful. George Bush Sr. Was one time talked about being a good steward. A good steward is, who am I working for? He was President of the United States, the first George Bush, and he was a good steward representing the United States. Everything you do as president is to be a good steward. And everything, in my opinion, the whole value of the reason for living is to be a good steward. I always talk, and I often talk about what do I do every day. I get up and I be a good boy. And in this video, they were talking about this, and they said you can recognize people by their fruit or the seeds that they plant. So in a way, when I say I'm going to get up every day and be a good boy, I am saying I'm planting seeds. But this is one interesting thing, and I think my one friend that was pointing out the synchronicity will. Here goes the. I'm on Joppa Street, and I'm at the coffee bean, and they got a nice rail track, and I'm trying to hope. I think my bus pass might allow me to get on trams. I don't know. What do you want to call these? Sometimes you call them subways, trams. There's all different names. Every country's got a different name. But to be a good servant. But in this video on Jesus Christ, he said it doesn't take work to love those who are loving you. And so when I talk about saying hello to people in the street and smiling to them, what I'm saying is I'm trying to love my enemy. On the other side is when my friend was asking, he was acting like I should have just gave him the food. I said, yes, I would have gave him the food, but he didn't ask, he took. And that's the opposite of holiness. And if there's no boundaries in my mind, you're not a holy person. Okay, a holy person looks for people of brothers and sisters in the Word. Okay, and what was interesting is a lot of these videos start out in the saying that in the beginning there was the Word. And what is the Word? And the Word was God. Okay. And that's interesting to me because how we understand what we're listening to is what we define as holy. On the other side, do you ever ask yourself what is holy? Have you ever said to yourself, like the first time I was in Mexico and they were trying to take me to a Christian church, I didn't want to go in. I feel that very arrogant, I don't like churches to be tourist attractions. I think that's the wrong path. Okay, but everything here in so far appears to be a tourist attraction in Jerusalem. Okay, so the goal here is to love those that don't love you. So when I'm saying to say hello to everybody, that's what I'm trying to say. Put up the sign of peace, hello, say hello, make eye contact. But holiness is without sin. And that's when, again, that almost signifies when you're in the right path, in the right way. Again, I believe that holiness is a sense of feeling. It's not just a word. It's a feeling. If you don't have that feeling, it's not holy to you. But one person may be feeling a sense of holiness while I may not. Okay? But righteous. Here's a reoccurring theme on holiness. Is a righteous feeling is when you feel like everything's right with the world. There's also energy. energy. When I was talking on the Patreon group, at every 4 a.m. this time, but 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York City time, I get on every Sunday and we talk on Zoom. And any Patreon that wants to can join that group. But I was talking about energy, and I first judge people on their energy. What energy? That's the reason why I'm always cautioning people to stay away from sunglasses with two big dogs and black clothing. That's the wrong body language, the wrong energy. In the Bible, it brings everything into the light. And everything in the light to me means clarity, transparency, and a welcoming color. I had kind of a synchronous moment this morning. I was cold. I was sitting there. I didn't have a sweatshirt on. It was about 6:30 in the morning. I was feeling, and I do believe that when you are in hardship, you have a feeling that you're closer to God. When everything's going too good, it's almost like a debaucherous moment. When everything's too good, you don't feel grateful. Okay, so gratitude is a sense of holiness. But my friend was saying that a holiness is something separate. I don't believe that. I don't really believe that so much. But I believe that. Hey, here comes another. There's a lot of these. Things. I'll show you where I'm at. The coffee bean. Okay. I guess it came out of Los Angeles. I really don't know. The lady, I think I might have been to a coffee bean in Carmel by the Sea when I was in California, but I'm not sure. I went there with my friend. She was really nice. I really like her, Susan. But there's things of born of the spirit and born of the flesh. The flesh is debaucherous, go get drunk, try to enjoy the food. Everything's about the flesh. And then things of the spirit are intellect, intelligence, knowledge, understanding. So you got two to me, the sense of holiness is things of the spirit, not things of the flesh, not the creature comforts. When somebody only wants to talk about their comfort, I believe that's the opposite of holiness. But I came to Israel specifically to witness what is happening, because right now we have a potential for a nuclear war. Israel has nuclear bombs, and Iran is trying it, and this is the opposite of holiness, right? On the other side is it's a time period where the whole world it could be a transitional time. Another, oh, this is an electric track. They got the lines above the train. Okay, but the point is this, is that I'm in Israel to witness. And that is what I think a traveler should do, is witness what they see and be a philosopher and have a love for the truth. I don't really talk to people that don't do their best to talk and tell me the truth. I mean, your interpretation of the world, my interpretation of the world is different. They was talking about that in the Bible, that you have these different interpretations, different apostles that wrote the different stories, and they didn't agree. And that was a proof that it wasn't true. Hey, it must be Tuesday in the United States. But things of the flesh and things of the spirit. So things of the spirit are things. I mean, that's a good way to delineate what is holy, is maybe saying things of the spirit. Things of the spirit are free. Things of the flesh cost. But we do witness holy moments, and we should have our eyes open to try to do it. But there are people with good fruit. And one thing I know for sure is when you cross through all the different religions of the planet, whether it's Hindu, Islam, Christian, Buddhist, Judas, there are always holy people. There are always people that feel holy. But you recognize them by their good fruit. A good fruit is when somebody does something nice for the world and there's no agenda, no benefit. It's like if a person would bend over and pick up some trash out of the sidewalk. That's the holiness, okay? But to be a good seed is my goal every day, is to get up and have good fruit and plant good seeds. That is my goal. I am here to witness. But you will find your friends, and one of the things they said is blessed people. Blessed is he who is you don't offend. So if I'm offending a person, that's not really on the same Holy Spirit as me. Now the goal here, in a lot of ways, is to have kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, as the Lord's Prayer. So that means you have to do your best to be a good person, to plant good seeds, and apologize and ask for forgiveness when you do wrong. But one of the good things I think is that one of the goals of a Holy Spirit is to become a whole person, to be part of the Savior ideas, is we're saved from the flesh and we become a whole person.
There's no way. There's no way. I was like, this is how you live your life.
There's one thing they said, that people that love God shall love the light. Things of the darkness and things of the light. If you love God, if you're sense of holy, it's always about lightness. Darkness is the opposite. It's the way of the devil, in my opinion. Elizabeth. But people have a thirst for holiness. Even the most criminal-minded person, 15% of the population that are almost sociopaths, really, in a way, have a thirst for holiness. I do believe that clothing is a problem for people. If you wear the wrong clothing, you're representing the wrong side of the coin. You're not trying to be happy and colorful. I believe that colorful, happy colors, white is the most thing. If you look at a lot of these videos, you'll see that Christ is always dressed in white, as he's the example, the seed of thing. Oh man, another. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham, and I will be making more videos on this holiness, and I'll be writing it in my book, The Philosophy of it's a book I'm trying to write. Maybe eventually I'll publish it. It's I write about 1 or 2 article chapters a week, and but after I dwell, and it's a good way to dwell on topics, because if we dwell on topics like holiness, what is holy? That's maybe introspection, and introspection is a life worth living. And I really want people to have a life worth living where they feel like they're part of this world. There's a happy person right there. Oh, she crossed the street. I try to identify happy people as I see them. But a grimace on their face is not happiness. You can almost feel the energy coming out of certain people. So try to stay on the good path. Talk with people that are smiling, that are happy, that are making the world a better place, that are giving the energy of things. There's a book about this where, what was that name? Well, the point is this. I dream of a world free of white lies. I accept that I annoy people by thinking too much, by basically trying to hunt for honesty. In a way, there's nothing more dangerous than an honest person, because they annoy everybody, because they bring into the light the vicissitudes, the problems of the world. And that is the goal of bringing things into the light, make everything transparent and obvious, is that you see the good in the bad. Because when you bring things into light, the darkness, people cannot hide. I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm in Jerusalem, Israel. It's December 17th, 2024. The Hamas is basically been beaten down. Hezbollah in Lebanon has been beaten down. And Syria is collapsed. So it's a good time. This is going to be the Christmas season. I will be here through Christmas. And I welcome your questions, whether you write me at hoboontheroad@yahoo.com, or you become a Patreon, or you can actually help fund this thing. Sitting here in this thing is about $3.63 for a coffee, and it takes, I only have about a $10. I'm going to raise my budget, daily budget for thing. I'm lowering my cost. My budget was $10 a day for transportation. I can lower that to about $3 because of the pass. And then my food budget needs to go up to about $12 or something like that. I normally eat only I only buy food from the supermarket because it's the only way to healthy eat. I did have a falafel yesterday for $5. But on whole, I'm not going to spend more than $12. But this coffee is $3, so trying to choose these really beneficial places is difficult, and trying to let you see the audience, the people behind me as they live their lives. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Become a Patreon if you'd like to have a way to talk with me as a person that's lived in 115 countries and done this for 26 years. I do not have a home inside the United States. I just go home and visit. Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not. Why not?